Welcome to Eye on Paulsboro, a new show. We're based here at Weiss's True Value Hardware on Broad Street. Very comfortable place to be, and they've been a sponsor for so many years. We're going to bounce around. We're going to go from here to a press conference with Rob Andrews announcing legislation associated with the Conrail train accident, and then we're going to go over the Paulsboro Firehouse, we believe, and look at the new fire truck, big investment on the part of taxpayers. Irma?
John, it was wonderful talking with Rob Andrews. We did that a little earlier, and what great train legislation. He's always a great friend of Paulsboro, and it's always great to be back here at Weiss's.
It is, and it's going to be a busy place coming up with their post-Thanksgiving Day sale. So stay with us. We're coming right back, and we're going to bounce around a little bit.
Multi-policy discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Welcome back. We're going to go to the press conference called by Congressman Rob Andrews. Very grateful for his attendance today in town and his follow-up and issues related to the train derailment. He's joined by Mayor Hamilton, myself, Fire Chief and Councilman Al Giampola, and Glenn Romick, who, of course, has coordinated our emergency management response, as well as Gary and Lynn Stevenson. This was at their house with the backdrop of the railroad overpass of the creek. So let's now go to the press conference.
I have three things I want to say as we approach the first anniversary of a day that I hope Paulsboro never sees again, and that no one in South Jersey or our country ever sees again. The good news out of that day, November 30th of last year, was that as far as we know, there's no long-term medical or health impacts, but we're still not sure about that, and that has to be studied. But there's three things that we do know. The first is that the credit goes to the first responders of the borough of Paulsboro. I want to say that emphatically. The National Transportation Safety Board is having continuing hearings on this matter. They'll be issuing a report in January, first part of next year. And at the request of the Assemblyman and the Mayor, they're coming to Paulsboro before they issue that report. And they will hear from the public here in Paulsboro so everyone can be heard. What I know they will hear is that the heroes of a year ago were the fire and the police and the rescue squads and first responders of the borough. I want to make that very, very clear. Any Monday morning quarterbacking or second guessing of these men and women is unfounded. They are the reason why the people of the borough got through this situation as well as they did, and I want to thank them for their excellence in that regard. The second thing that happened here is that the one industry in our country that is self-regulating is the freight rail industry. This needs to stop. So I introduced legislation last week. I'm working with the chairman of the Transportation Committee, which will provide for the first time in our country's history independent, competent inspection and regulation of the freight rail industry. Here's what their legislation provides. It says that at least once every 2 years, bridges like the one behind us here will have to be inspected by a reputable, independent engineering firm. Not a firm on the payroll of Conrail, not a firm on the payroll of any railroad, but a firm that is competent and qualified. We're not creating a new government agency, because I frankly think we have enough government agencies, but we are creating is an obligation of each freight railroad to have each bridge inspected at least once every 2 years to avoid the kind of problems that we had. Second thing that the bill provides is at least every 6 months, every switching system will have to be inspected by a similar competent independent engineering outfit. So it's not yet clear whether the accident of last November, the derailment, was caused by poor switching or by a poor bridge or some other cause. What we do know, though, is that when this bill becomes law, every freight railroad, everywhere, will have to have their switching systems inspected at least every 6 months and their bridges inspected by an independent contractor at least every 2 years. The other thing coming, which is not in this bill but it's already in the law, is something called PTC, and that is positive train control. This was enacted a couple years ago. It really requires that every freight rail, really every passenger rail as well, have a sort of GPS system hooked into it that can identify objects on the track with plenty of time to stop the train. That was apparently not the case here, but in instances where there is a vehicle or a person or an obstruction on the rail, every locomotive is going to be outfitted with in effect, a GPS device that would give adequate warning so the train will stop. The third thing I want to say, and Assemblyman Berzicelli is really one who called this to everyone's attention, it is as the people of Paulsboro were struggling for answers, when can I get back to my home? Why did the people across the street get evacuated but I didn't? Who's in charge of this situation? He and I spoke about it during that weekend when this was all going on. And it became clear that it was the old axiom that when everyone is in charge, no one is in charge. So I've introduced a second piece of legislation last week, which says the following. Every time the federal government gets involved in any accident or situation like we had here, every time, the president or his designee will designate a federal incident commander who is best suited to deal with the situation. The first job of that federal incident commander, as soon as practicable, will be to deal with the state and local authorities and come to an agreement among those state and local authorities as to who's in charge of what. Here's what that would have meant a year ago in Paulsboro. Whether it was the Coast Guard that was designated or the EPA, the first thing they would have had to do as soon as practical is talk to the chief, talk to the state police people that were here, talk to the county OEM, and come to an agreement as to who is in charge of what as quickly as they could. What would this have meant? Well, it would have meant that one person could have told those residents why the people across the street weren't evacuated when they were, or when they weren't. One person could have been in a position to decide what kind of air monitoring to use and for how long. One person could have been in a position to write checks to hotels and other places of residence so people could have temporary food or lodging. When everyone is in charge, no one is in charge. So what we've done here is to produce two pieces of legislation, and I'm going to work with both Republicans and Democrats to get these passed, that one of which will provide for independent inspection to avoid accidents like this in the future, and the second which will provide for a chain of command so that we know who is in charge in these situations. I'll tell you who else did a great job here were the local elected officials. The local state legislators, the freeholders, the mayor, and the council really stepped up, as they always do, and served the people of town well. And one of those leaders was our former mayor and present Assemblyman John Berzicelli.
Just to add to what the Congressman said, first of all, we're very grateful for his attention to this issue. And by what he has just outlined, he's demonstrated again his understanding of circumstances. This was a situation that was, in the opinion of many, completely avoidable. But most important when these things happen, it's first how you respond, but it's also how you change to prevent it from happening and circumstances from unfolding as they did here. What the Congressman has just outlined will go a long way in making Americans safer. Rail is an important piece of our economy. Jobs depend on it, families depend on it, but it needs to be done in a safe and managed fashion. And this call for a reasonable level of regulation and setting a standard across this country, I'm telling you, will go a long way in preventing something like this from happening again. So we're very grateful, Congressman, for your continued engagement.
Well, again, I want to say that I spoke to the Assemblyman several times that weekend. He was literally on the scene and on the spot. And we're looking forward to his continued cooperation in getting this done.
Please be
Mayor Hamilton and the Borough Council worked very hard on this, as did the local first responders, and I want to thank him for being here today as well. Mayor?
Thank you. I'm glad to be here today for this anniversary that's coming up, and all the legislation that Congressman and also Assemblyman Bertucelli has done to get this moving in this area. This is important for us, and I just want to thank these two gentlemen and give special thanks to our first responders. It was our fire department and also our county who stepped up on this here when we had this derailment that was behind us. And when they done that right there, they had kept the people here in the borough safe, and we thank them for that. Thank you.
Do you expect the Republicans to work with you on this?
They already are. The chairman of the Transportation Committee is Representative Bill Schuster of Pennsylvania. He and I have a good working relationship. He has a Republican primary, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But he and I have already discussed this bill. We're going to negotiate it through, and he's been very attentive to my requests here. As frankly have Frank Lobiondo and Pat Meehan, who, as you recall, were here a year ago helping to inspect the site. Both of them have shown an interest in this. This is not a partisan issue, it's a public safety issue.
It's the overpass, the bridge that you see behind us where the incident occurred. If you notice, there still are no side rails. Now, granted, it's a solid structure at this point, but the crossing down in Logan Township has side rails. Had this bridge had side rails at the time of the incident, it becomes a routine derailment that's an inconvenience and not a public safety issue. So here we are after the issue. Conrail still is operating this overpass with no side rails. So I doubt sincerely any independent view of that would say that's a good thing.
We want freight rail to be competitive and successful. When those trains run, it means people are working. It means down in Pure Land or down at the Port of Salem, it means things are working the way that they should. But it still should be safe. And if we can have airbags in cars, and if we can have better safety standards on these airplanes you see landing behind us and here landing behind us, that's another problem. I'm aware of that one too, guys. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to have this. Again, I want to thank the Stevenson family for their years of loyalty and friendship, and I regret that they had to live through this nightmare, but they would have been here anyway. If they lived on the other side of town, they would have been out helping out. Thanks, everybody.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Welcome back. The top of the program, we're going to visit with Phil Weiss, who's kind enough to have us in today. Phil, thanks for hosting. Thanks for being a sponsor for so many years as well. People don't really know how some of this works. Irma and myself don't get paid, but there are some expenses. We're so grateful Fred Buchter continues to be able to do this, and the sponsorships are a big help. So, Phil, thanks for having us. We're heading into Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much for shooting this segment of the show again around Christmas time for us. We appreciate it. Keep the show going because it's great. A lot of people come in and say that they've seen me on or our store on the show.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, very. We have a very exciting time for us this weekend is our annual Weekend After Thanksgiving sale. About 3 years ago, we started True Value, had an opportunity for us to participate in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're open this coming Sunday from 10 to 2 for the Thanksgiving weekend sale. And we've had a tremendous amount of success. It's a fun day. People in here running around crazy looking for stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It's great. Some fantastic gift ideas and good hardware items at huge discounts.
And also, so many who are in the mailing area will get a circular, which will have the details. Now, you're going to get a lot of circulars, almost like political season, by the way. A lot of stuff coming in the mail. But this is something you really want to read. And if you're not on the mailing list, but in the viewing audience, because the program goes out way past Phil's immediate mailing area, the price point is very competitive with everyone else.
It absolutely is. It's a very popular broadsheet that we put out. It's done by zip code, like you said, in our surrounding area, but we will have extra copies for folks here in the store when they come in.
Now, how about hours of operation, Phil? Because normally it's 6 days a week, but in this case?
Yeah, normally Monday through Friday we're 8:30 to 5:30, Saturday 8:30 to 4. Normally we're closed on Sundays, but like I said, this coming Sunday we'll be here 10 to 2.
Very good. Now, of course, it's sunny, but it's cold outside. It's Monday. Weather forecast is sort of strange for Wednesday. Well, actually Tuesday and Wednesday. Winter time's here.
We had mild winters the last 2, hoping for some snow. Not 2 feet, 3 feet, but we'll take 6 or 8 inches of snow. We'll have snow blowers, ice melt, shovels, heat tapes, all the things that you may need for winter supplies. Just another also idea in regards to Christmas gifts. We have gift certificates here at the store. You can get a gift certificate in any denomination that you want if you're not sure what someone would want.
Very good. And something very basic too, appliances. The Weiss family has been selling GE appliances for a very long time. And American Appliance, come and gone. Weiss is still here. And appliances is a big business here. And I can tell you personally that they are competitive with anyone that you would otherwise want to compare to. So give Phil a chance on any appliance you may have in mind. You'd be very surprised what he can do on the price. And he delivers. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, master mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and rug doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. This segment comes to you from the engine bay here at the Paulsboro Fire Department's firehouse. And we're very pleased to be joined by Borough Fire Chief, also Councilman Al Giampola. Off to the side is Captain, soon to be Deputy Chief Glenn Remick. And we're going to talk today about this apparatus behind us. But before we talk about this fire truck, I remind everyone who watches that this municipality, like so many in Gloucester County, are served by 100% volunteer responders. So the taxpayers provide the fire apparatus and a small operating budget to help buy gear and offset some of those expenses. Fire Association owns the firehouse, as does the Billingsport Volunteer Fire Association, but these are all volunteers. And we are just grateful to them, because those of you who were in town Saturday or so, a week or so ago, recall there was a fire on Broad Street. Unfortunately, lost another business. That's bad news. 2 houses, adjoining houses damaged. But the response by our men and women was excellent, and no loss of life, which is the most important thing. So, Chief, first of all, thank you, as always, for the service. It can never be overstated how important it is, because this new truck behind us costs a lot of money, but if we had to pay people to ride on it, this municipal budget would be strained. So, Al, tell us about this. This is a big deal when a new fire truck arrives.
Yes, it is. I'd like to thank the residents of Paulsboro. They're the taxpayers that bought this. I also like to thank Mayor and Council for going ahead and getting it for us. It's something that you started when you were mayor, and we finally got it to fruition now. It's a 2013 KME pumper. It carries 1,000 gallons of water. It's got 25 gallons of foam on it. It's got the 450 horse Cummins engine in it. It's a state-of-the-art piece of equipment. Paulsboro was due for an engine, as you were well aware. This is going to replace the red and white truck, which was a 1989. So that's going to be coming out of service. Very happy and pleased with the operation of it. It was at the fire on Saturday. It was on a hydrant. It did its job. It did what it was supposed to do. It pumped water down to the scene. It fed 1721, which is the Billing Sports, the blue truck, and Gibbstown's ladder truck.
And as we talk about this, first of all, KME stands for Kovacs Mobile Equipment, Nescahoying, Pennsylvania. This truck is built in America and is built nearby Pennsylvania. And the department was very frugal. And I always felt badly during my years as mayor. I was not in a position to get the department a new truck. You guys were creative in how you approach this because this is a demonstrator.
Yes, it is. If we bought the truck new, the specs would have came in a little over $400,000. By buying it as a demo, we paid $360,000 for it. We added some equipment. Graciously, when you were mayor, Valero, now PBF Refinery, had given us $10,000 towards the purchase of a new truck. We used that to add some additional equipment. It has a 6,000-watt generator on it that's built into the truck. It's got some lights on it. Added a couple other things to it, which brought the price up, and that $10,000 offset it. So in the truck right now is $373,000 and change.
It's a big number, folks, but if you consider what houses sell for in some places, you get a sense of the value. And these trucks are designed to be in service. Traditionally, fire trucks served for 20 years, and then based on insurance underwriting standards, trucks are generally traded out. But for a person who happens to drive an antique fire truck, if you compare this truck to that truck, although some could argue they do the same job just with a little less capacity, but firemen no longer ride on the back running board.
Correct. Through NFPA, which is the National Fire Protection Association, they sort of mandate how we do things. You're not allowed to mount equipment on the outside of the truck. It all has to be in a cabinet. All the members that ride the truck have to be seated in a seat with an air pack and a seatbelt on. A lot of things have changed. When I came in the department in '77, we rode on the back. We had cotton jackets with hip boots and a metal helmet. Today, everything is a standard that you have to meet, which is good. It's for the protection of the firefighters.
Well, but the one constant that has stayed is the generous time that these volunteers give to this, because you just don't come and sign up to be a fireman, although volunteers are welcome. The training required now is really extensive, and the demands we make on these generous volunteers, again, can't be overstated. We're very fortunate to have them. And this investment by taxpayers, if you take this and spread it out over 20 years, you get a sense of what it would be a year, and it suddenly becomes a little more reasonable. But Alphonse, I think everyone paid attention. You've got to have equipment.
Yes, and it's a tough thing because, again, when you attach fire to it and you certify it, the price goes up. Like with anything else, once you certify it and you say this is NFPA certified, you get a higher price. Somebody had to say, okay, this meets a standard. We're fortunate. Mayor and Council has been very, very generous to the fire department. They've helped us along the way. Most of what we've asked for, we've always gotten from Mayor and Council.
Well, because it's so very, very important. And I might add, fire trucks are custom built. These don't come off an assembly line like you think of General Motors or Ford, which also contributes because they're all custom built. Although this one happens to be a demonstrator, if the department was going to spec this, it's probably pretty close. I mean, there's no compromise in the protection being served by this municipality because these guys were able to locate a demonstrator to fit their needs. It just was smart. Fortunately, it fit in a firehouse because these things are getting so big now. But we've enjoyed this visit. Let's hope the only time you see this truck is in a parade and not at your front door for an emergency, but God forbid something should happen. We are well served here, and we have a better chance of being safe because of these volunteers. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Welcome back. It's time for Community Notes with Irma Stevensons, what people look forward to the most on this program. But let me start by saying, Irma went in the hospital a handful of days ago, seemed to have a knee replacement. I can't get over
November 6th, John. November the 6th.
So in less than a month, you're walking.
And I was walking that night. I was up, standing, and the next day I was walking in the halls. In fact, I said to the nurses, can I help you? I'm getting bored. I went in one day and came home the next. Voorhees Virtua, Dr. Chevette.
Now, you're standing here today. We're taping this. What does today say? 25th?
Today's 25th, John.
So 20 days later, you're walking without a cane.
19 days.
19 days without a cane. Magnificent. Did they give you anesthesia?
Yeah, they gave me a spinal and happy juice, and I woke right up, and I was ready to go.
Simply amazing. A few birthdays?
Oh, because I'm a Red Raider, John. Happy anniversaries to Don and Chuck O'Leary, and happy birthdays to Rita Kelly, Chuck O'Leary, Jean Chimpola, Mark Camp, Kathy Maurer, Marietta Relation, and Michelle Relation, Lincoln Kessler, Carol Kessler, Pat Esposito, and Anthony Esposito, Tom Haddock, Bridget Kathleen Maiden, and Kathy McCann. Happy birthdays and happy anniversaries. And Paulsboro Day Committee needs members. They meet on the fourth Monday of every month at 7 p.m. at Borough Hall. Volunteers are needed. Please call 423-1554, or they do have a website, Paulsboro Day. Greenwich seniors are having a trip to the American Music Theater, Christmas show November 29th, lunch at the Dutch Way Family Restaurant, and dinner at the Kitchen Kettle, $70. Please call Janice at 224-1170. And our Paulsboro seniors, like everyone to know, they have a casino trip every month on the first Monday of every month to the Taj Mahal. $20 received, and you get $20 back. They leave at 12:30, and they usually ride back home about 8:39. Call Janet at 423-0832. And our Paulsboro High School Christmas concerts, the junior high band and choir concert will be December 10th at 7 p.m. at the Paulsboro Auditorium. And on December the 17th, the senior high school band and choir will be singing and playing, and they're wonderful. The concert band, the jazz band, please come out. And our annual Christmas tree lighting, Paulsboro, will be at 5 p.m. on December the 7th at Borough Hall. And Santa Claus will be there. Come out and see the beautiful tree lighted. And usually your Steve always makes sure that lights up.
Well, yes, we hope it. And in fact, he's going to be in Canada this time around. So we'll have to find a few more elves.
I'll find a couple more elves. And the Paulsboro Recreation Commission on December the 12th at 10 a.m. at the Paulsboro High School Auditorium will hold their annual Christmas Kids Party, infant stage 12. And John, here's Paulsboro helping Paulsboro people. A beef and beer benefit for Sharon Lee Oswald, Gallagher and family on January 25th from 8 p. to 12 a. at the Paulsboro Moose Lodge, $20 per person. Sharon is a longtime friend of many of us and alumni of Paulsboro High School. She's been diagnosed with the Lou Gehrig's disease, the ALS. She's down south. Her family is bringing her back home to Paulsboro so they can take care of her. So here we go, that our Paulsboro people, Nancy Kabecki and Sherry Yarborough, are helping her. Please call 856-423-4629 or 856-472-4697. They're going to have an auction, refreshment. She needs our help to offset her medical bills. And this is Paulsboro people helping Paulsboro, John.
And it's very, very, very worthwhile. That's a very difficult thing to deal with for those who have been through it. So any help is greatly appreciated by families. Support means everything.
John, it's been wonderful today to have Rob back in Paulsboro again, helping us with the train situation and helping all towns that the train goes through.
If there were more congressmen like Rob Andrews, you can be certain the gridlock in Washington would not be nearly what it is. We're grateful for his strong representation of this entire region. That being said, for Fred Buchter behind the camera, for Bill Crane, our producer, Irma.
See you on Broad Street. Everyone have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving.
Until next time.